It's year-end review time. I'm not sure you're going to like the grades.
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Welcome into another edition of Southwest Bias Live, presented by our friends at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. And we are live from Studio K. Got the point right. Brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Become a member of the Inner Circle today for free by downloading the Circle K app. It's review time. End of the year reviews. We all go through it as employees. As a manager, I've got to actually do them as a manager and have to walk people through what their year was, how they did, and assign some scores. We have a whole sheet that corporate gives us that we have to go through. And yeah, it's a medial task. We've got to do it. It's one of those things that are required. And most of the time, as long as you've taken care of your job, you get good marks. And now that I'm going through this process, I kind of thought that Jonathan Gannon needs one of these year-end reviews. And I'm not sure if they're going to go on at the Cardinals facility. So I decided that I was going to welcome the Cardinals head coach in here today, and I will administer his year-end review in a handful of categories and get his thoughts when it comes to it. And there are 4 categories that I'm going to go through with you, Mr. Gannon. Thank you for coming in to my office and taking this time. As a manager, I take this extremely seriously. And when I look at these categories, it kind of encompasses everything that you've had to do as a leader and a member of this team in 2025. This is not reflective of previous years. Some of that is taken into consideration as well, but I have to have an honest evaluation of you, and it may not be easy to hear. So I'm going to walk you through a category, give you your grade, and then you're going to have a chance to respond to me. It's on a scale of 5 being the best, 1 being the worst, in terms of these key categories that we deem important when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals organization and the fans that are here to hold you accountable. The first one is strategic planning and vision. And I thought long and hard about this, Jonathan. And I had to give you a 2 here because this is your 3rd year. And while I'm not going to take into consideration those first 2 years in grading you here, it doesn't feel like you had a real strategic plan and vision for this year. I understand that things came up. I understand that you had difficulties in terms of injuries. That is part of the job, though. You look across the other companies in our division, and they have the same thing, and they've found success and made it work. So I feel like there is only one way that I can grade you is with a 2, but I need to know, do you feel there was a plan? Do you feel that there was something? Can you give me a pitch as to what you were really trying to accomplish this year?
There's no pitch. I'm concentrating on Atlanta.
Really? There's no pitch? Like you have no way to defend your strategic planning for this year? There's legitimately no pitch that you want to make to me? I mean, there's nothing you want to say about the results that you drove this year? I'll give you another chance.
Again, I'm concentrating on Atlanta, but I do have to have a little bit of foresight with, as I'm taking notes how this year's gone, what do we have to take a look at with a critical eye and change? Because if we keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same result, that's not good by anybody in my seat. So we'll look at that when the time comes.
when the time comes, Jonathan, this is year 3. You've been in this season almost the entire year, and you haven't started strategically thinking about that? When the time comes, I appreciate that you're focused on Atlanta and the task that's at hand, but I expect from my management, my leadership group, that you actually are strategically planning as you go along. This isn't something that can just wait till the end of the year. Things need to be fixed in the moment. That's part of strategic planning and vision. All right, I'm going to have to keep that at 2. You didn't say anything to convince me otherwise, and I apologize. I know it's a harsh critique, but sometimes the best thing we can do is harshly critique so you can be better moving forward. Team development and mentorship is next, and I take this one seriously as well. And I'll give you some credit. Trey McBride has developed immensely into one of the best tight ends in the league under you and your coaching staff. So kudos for that. And because of that, I'm going to have to give you a 2.5 on this one because you did that with Trey. But we haven't seen this offense develop. We haven't seen Marvin Harrison Jr. develop. And I understand, again, injuries play part of that. But and it took far too long for Michael Wilson to develop, and it seemed like it was only out of necessity here, Jonathan. And the defense has done nothing but backslide. And from a mentorship perspective, I expected better from the coordinators under your tutelage. I thought you'd be able to lift them up. You not call them out, but call them up. And I haven't fully seen that. But how do you feel things are going? How do you feel the mentality of everybody in the building is right now? Because it's your job to kind of do that.
No, this group, we got good leaders, man. That's a good question, Craig. We talked about it today. Like this, nobody is pleased. I am not happy. They are not happy. This at this point in the year where we're at, it's tough. There's definitely some adversity, a lot of adversity. We've had some tough games, some games we haven't really been in my mind. In the second half, that stinks. And it is hard, but we also know the way out of adversity. The silver lining of adversity is you grow. And I think that you got to have the right attitude. You got to come to work. It's a privilege to be doing what we're doing, and you got to put your best foot forward. And that's we talked a little bit about it today.
Who's Craig? My given name's Greg, and I go by Espo. So let's start there. You probably should know my name, Jonathan, since I'm doing your review here. But they're not happy, and you're not happy. Well, that's on you. You're the leader. You're the emotional barometer of this. And yeah, it is a privilege to have this job for each and every one of you. And if you're not working a little bit harder, you might not have that privilege much longer. I hate to say it, but this review is not exactly glowing right now. That is definitely something you're going to have to work on if we're going to continue to work together here. And I'm kind of disappointed that the feeling wasn't, I'm frustrated a lot earlier and then fixing it. And there are no silver linings in this, all right? This ain't some Jennifer Lawrence movie about the Philadelphia Eagles. There's no silver linings, and there's barely a playbook here. Let's be honest. So enough with that. We got to go to decision-making and accountability. This is one, if I could give a 0, I probably would have given a 0 here. I'm going to be honest, because the decision-making has been questionable at best, and the accountability has been non-existent. Let's be honest, non-existent. As a manager and a leader, there has to be consequences for actions, and repeatedly poor decisions have to be reprimanded. And we have not seen that, especially when it comes to your offensive coordinator. There's been no accountability. There has been no discipline. It's one thing to make a mistake once, but when it's repeated over and over and over and over again, that's a problem. And then in these post-game press conferences or media availabilities, I haven't heard the accountability. I haven't seen you take that accountability. I haven't seen Drew Petzing take accountability for what's going on. In fact, all I've heard is excuses. So what do you have to say about that?
Your pitch, Teo, is I believe in myself and I believe in our team. And we are at a dip right now, and we're going through some adversity. But I believe in us, and we'll get out of the dip.
Espo, not Teo. Espo, all right? Get it right. And then you just told me there was no pitch, and now there's a pitch, but there's adversity? Again, where's the accountability? That's why it's a 1. We got to move to the last one. Cross-departmental leadership. You are the head of the organization here when it comes to coaching. Nick Rawlis, Drew Petzing. You're supposed to lead those guys so they can lead the rest of the group. Where has the leadership been there? I'm highly disappointed in what we've seen. I got to give you a 1 here as well. What do you have to say to yourself there, Jonathan?
Yeah, nothing to add on that. No.
Nothing to add on that? So, again, no accountability. You still don't know my name, and you haven't given me any reason to believe that I should change these grades. I got to say, I'm disappointed in the season, but I think I might be even more disappointed in this review. Usually, people come to the review with answers and solutions and a way to look at the future, but all I've heard is excuses and nothing more than that. I expect much better. And we're going to have to sit here and think long and hard about what happens after these next 3 games. I expected better this year, Jonathan. We had high expectations for you, your entire staff, and everybody that's under you in your management structure. And we really missed the boat here. And I'm questioning some strategic planning for 2026. I'm going to need to see something over these next 3 games to make me believe in it. And then I'm going to need one hell of a pitch come January, because that Monday after the season, we might have to have another conversation. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. We welcome in Noah, the man from Detroit, the beautiful facial hair that is, I think, even better sometimes than Shane's. How are you, Noah?
Wow, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I will make sure to tell Shane that all the time.
Are you ready for your review? I have what Shane has written up, and I have my grades. We can do it right here on the program if you want.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to just give me all A pluses and, the best review possible live on air, go for it.
5s across the board, and you know my name, so that's why I'm giving you 5s across the board. Obviously, we had a little fun with some of the comments from Jonathan Gannon yesterday, and you were part of the PHNX Cardinals program. What do you make of what Jonathan Gannon's done with this team, or lack thereof, and the way that he's talked about things throughout this season when it comes to his post-game press conferences and his media availabilities?
I think at this point with Gannon's pressers, it's just white noise. I think there was a time and place where what he was saying had a little bit of weight to it, but now it's just kind of repeating the same things he's been saying. Like, at this point, what are you going to say about a 3-11 horrible team that had playoff expectations, and now you're losing by 20 points like in 4 straight games? So that's a tough one there. It's obviously super disappointing. I don't think anybody could have seen this coming, but, Gannon probably should have made some decisions a little earlier in the season rather than not doing anything and just waiting until the eventual death of the team.
Yeah, I mean, I could have taken clips from any press conference this season. You would have had the same exact results there in answers to what I had to say. So I'm not surprised by that. It's the first time in franchise history they've given up 40 points in 4 games in a season. So that tells you everything you need. Big thank you to everybody, all the bias in the chat. Hit that like button. Evan, Brian, Connor, Deborah, Killamus Rex, all of you being here. Brian says grading press conferences like less than watching paint dry. Yeah, that's true. Killamus Rex, I'm not reading that comment. And Deborah says pressers are the same. I agree, Noah. Thank you all for being here. Hit that like button. If you haven't already joined, become a supporter club member today and unleash those specific emojis that are just there for you, as well as get some great exclusive content from our entire staff and so much more. On the other side of the break, we welcome in our Trashy TV correspondent, Leah Merrill, who's going to sell me on yet another show I probably shouldn't watch right after this. Got to tell you about my friends at Circle K. I got to go there this morning. I didn't yesterday. I was grumpy, and you could tell on the program. But today, I got there. I got my Coke Zero. I'm feeling good. And I'm also feeling good because I'm a member of the Inner Circle. And today, I had to fill up on gas for my drive from Mesa downtown to Phoenix. And I saved 5 cents off per gallon because I'm a member of the Inner Circle. But it's super easy. You can save 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups just by signing up for free today. So why wouldn't you do it? Plus, then after those first 5 fill-ups, you're going to save 3 cents off per gallon. Then you hit that Noah level, that beautiful, sweet beard behind the Mac, the mustache, whatever he's got going on. You're going to save 5 cents off per gallon like me. Plus, you get great deals on Polar Pops, Frosters, and food. So why wouldn't you do it? It's easy. Sign up today at CircleK.com or download the Circle K app for free. Terms and conditions apply. Do it today. Become a member of the Inner Circle. And you know what? If you've had a serious injury or accident, you've got to have the right lawyer. I went through this process with my family, and I didn't have the right lawyer. And let's be honest, it was an awful, awful experience. 3 years of annoyance. But with Mark and Alexis Breyer, the husband and wife law team, you don't go through that. They guarantee that you'll be able to talk to your lawyer whenever you need to. They are lawyers that specialize in serious injury and accident cases. And they're ready to go to trial if that's what needs to be, if a settlement can't be reached. And they have your best interest at mind because they want you to walk away with a settlement that works for you and not one that just works for them. So why would you not go with the husband and wife law team? I've done the research. You should too. If you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at the link in our show notes and tell them PHNX sent you. Welcome back into Southwest Bias, and I welcome in somebody who is a dear friend of mine until we do this segment where she tries to convince me that I need to watch, I called it Trashy TV, we'll call it salacious television here. Last time you were here, Leah, you tried to convince me on watching Love Island, and you managed to convince my wife, which meant you managed to convince me to watch it, and I will say this, it wasn't bad. She got into it way more than me, but you know what? It wasn't awful. So I decided I will give you another chance here.
All right. I'm not just here to convince you. I'm here to convince everybody, but only if you're 18 or older, because this show is a risque, but it is sweeping the world.
You're trying to corrupt young minds here, including mine?
No, I'm not corrupting anybody. This show is so popular. It's if you right now go on the HBO Instagram account and just glance at the grid, every post is about this one show.
Well, I mean, if you look at HBO's lineup, that might be because there is only one show left there. I mean, that isn't Last Week Tonight. So.
Well, this show, everyone, is called Heated Rivalry. And yes, it's about hockey.
Who would have guessed? You like hockey, Leah?
I know.
A resident Canadian.
It's shocking. It's shocking. And it's funny because, you know, for those who don't know, the hockey romance genre has taken over books.
What?
Like, there is actually a chance. And by the way, lifelong hockey fan here, obviously, former host of PHNX Coyotes. I think that hockey romance books might have a more popular audience than like the NHL itself.
What?
Like, this is a crazy genre, right?
How does this genre hockey romance?
Yes.
I mean, what was it? Cutting Edge was like that 80s hockey player falls in love with figure skater, but I haven't heard of anything since then.
Like go to Target, go to Barnes and Noble, go look in the romance section. There's like a whole hockey romance section, right? So there's this new, I don't even know when the book series is from, but one of the books is called Heated Rivalry. And they recently made a show that originally premiered on Crave Canada, which is it's a Canadian made show.
That sounds like a dirty network to begin with. Crave Canada.
Okay, well, this show became so popular that HBO is not, HBO only buys good shows, right? So all of a sudden, Heated Rivalry now on HBO, okay? This show, everywhere I look, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, this show has taken the world by storm. And let me tell you about it. The premise.
I'm terrified.
The premise. Of course, it's a fictional league because they can't say it's the NHL, but it's called Major League Hockey.
Okay.
And there's two players. One is Russian, one is Canadian. They meet when they're still in juniors.
So forbidden.
So first of all, main rivalry, their countries. Yes. Second rivalry, one's drafted first overall, one's drafted second overall.
Okay.
It's a little competition. They get drafted to the Montreal team and the Boston team, which those who follow the NHL know that is a age-old rivalry. So a lot of parallels. So lots of, rivalry between them. And of course, the plot is that these two are having a relationship that spans many, many years. And that's where the forbidden love aspect comes in. And it is, you're getting action within the first 15 minutes of the first episode.
It's checking. It's high sticking. There's everything. There's lower body injuries.
Let me just say, if you were to watch the show, which I highly recommend, make sure you are not with your children. Make sure you close the blinds because it's HBO. You see it all.
I heard these hockey team names are questionable too. Is this correct?
It's not so much the team names, it's actually the jerseys. There's some symbolism. If you look closely at the Boston jersey and the Montreal jersey, just keep, just have an open mind about looking at the jerseys.
It's like a Rorschach test kind of.
Confirmed by the show creator himself, Jacob Tierney, who was a guest on our friends What Chaos. Amazing interview. And by the way, What Chaos has been reviewing every single episode, which I love, just two straight guys talking about this show. But they talk about it so objectively because it's, when you peel back all of the, raunchiness, it's actually a really good show. You want yearning, you want passion, you want hockey. And it's so funny. I'll watch all these TikToks and people are like, I don't care about the hockey. And then there's other people who are like, give me more hockey. It's the hockey people. And it kind of follows a similar timeline that existed. So the 2014 Olympics are in the show are in Sochi like they were in real life. There's a lot of parallels. I really enjoy it.
I assume it's a hidden romance. It's not out in the open, so it adds a little bit.
Emma, our social media manager, Emma, in the chat saying this show consumes my every thought. And by the way, that's how a lot of people are feeling about this show. There's something in it that just, man, it's just addicting. It's so good.
Is there a Phoenix franchise? Can I get my Phoenix hockey fix?
Here's my pitch if you're on the fence. So as I mentioned, it's a fictional league. Mm-hmm. And, the only teams that you really know for sure that are actually mentioned on the show. So you have Montreal and Boston. That's the teams of the two main characters. There's a New York team to symbolize the Rangers. Mm-hmm. They mention an Ottawa team. They mention a Winnipeg team. They actually reference Tampa Bay and Sunrise, which that's so specific because the Florida Panthers play in Sunrise, not Miami. That's the whole thing. But they also mention a San Francisco team, which I'm assuming is meant to represent maybe San Jose. Yeah. But to me, if there's a San Francisco team, and that's really the only West team that gets mentioned, to me, in this world, there's no reason why there cannot be an Arizona team in this show.
Let's be honest. You can't have a Utah team. That just doesn't make sense.
I agree.
For this show. So why don't we bring them back to Arizona? You could call them the Desert Dogs. I think that would work.
I think so too. So listen, if Jacob Tierney is watching this pitch, season 2, I would love to see some Arizona hockey content. We can even, We can create a podcast around the team. Like I'm all in. Let's make sure we have a Arizona hockey team in the MLH.
Can I suggest a sweater idea?
Yes.
A Saguaro.
Yes.
I think it's the
Yes.
only way to go about
Yes.
it. I mean, there's so many names that you could go with
Yes.
too. Can you buy these jerseys? Like, if you get really into the show and the hockey, can you buy the jerseys?
There must be a way to buy these jerseys. There must be because the market for them. And I will just say the thing that I've really enjoyed about consuming the discourse around this show for me as a lifelong hockey fan is seeing all sorts of people from all walks of life say, this makes me want to watch hockey. I want to buy a ticket to a hockey game. Like, people are saying, like, you know what? I just went to an NHL game over the weekend because now I'm interested. To me, that is like, everything else aside, how, steamy it is, the trashy, whatever you want to say, all of that aside, like, this show is reaching people and bringing people into loving hockey. And I love that. And it doesn't matter how people got there. They're getting there. This is like the NHL's best marketing tool that they never, ever thought, imagine would be relevant. But to me, it means a lot because I just think there's a whole untapped audience of people out there who could love hockey, love the sport, and those people are being reached.
Hello, trying to give us a tagline for the Arizona season. The only thing hotter than the Arizona team was our fiery passion.
Maybe we can write the Arizona spin-off version.
I mean, we could do it as an audio only show where we do it as like an old school audio drama.
We'll let somebody else do it.
I think I could at HR. I'm probably already in trouble for letting you talk about this. How many of these books have you read? I need you to be
Zero.
honest. You haven't read any of the hockey romance books?
No.
Because I wanted to know what's the next chapter. Like, I imagine that the next season might be based on the next hockey romance book.
Well,
or do you just keep going with this show?
So the show is this. The main plot of the show is based on book 2, and then there's episode 3 is actually based on book 1, from what I've heard online on the Twitter streets. So I don't know, but I definitely want to give them a read now.
Is there? So you are originally from Toronto. Is there any
Indeed.
Canadian references that we need to know? Since this was originally a Canadian show, much like Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
Like what Canadian isms is there any that I need to know, or any hockey terminology that I need to know?
Not really.
Like, do they talk about putting the biscuit in the basket? I know that's a Canadian.
I will say
term.
Hockey is the setting. It is not the. There's not much you need to know there, but it is exciting to get into.
Is like the new arena for the Olympics. Is it too small, or like there's so many hockey things?
We haven't quite gotten to that yet. The story starts in 2008, and if you just watched episode 4, that's early 2017. So we're still quite a few years back.
So do you think this is just a one season thing? Or
nope, they just got renewed for season 2.
All right. Through Crave or through HBO or through both?
I have no idea.
I don't want them to lose the Canadian aspect
No.
Then the hockey will take a hit.
It's all filmed in Canada.
It's all filmed in Canada.
It's a Canadian production.
All right. Now, we need our Arizona team. We need our hockey fix. And I promise you, if you give us an Arizona team on this program, we will relaunch PHNX, whatever the name of this team is, like the
PHNX Saguaros.
The Saguaros, like we will relaunch that show the first day that the Arizona team appears in this show, and we will do post-show breakdowns. That's how serious I am, because Leah loves her hockey and apparently her romance, and her and Emma will start hosting this program day one.
Yes.
I'm actually going to get our graphics department on creating said jersey. We're going to put forth all the effort to create this team. All you have to do is mention
in the locker.
all I ask is that you mention this team on the program. You don't even have to show them in a hockey game. I just want a mention of
an
the Arizona
team.
Saguaros.
We need it.
That's it.
We
That's all I'm
need
asking.
it.
We're starting a campaign.
Yes.
We're going to start a campaign. I actually need you to get, we're going to do a special PHNX hockey show where you get the writer, creator of this show on, and we make this pitch. We're going to make it happen.
I love it.
I'm looking at you. We need you. We need you to come through. We need the Arizona Saguaros on this program. That is another edition of Southwest Bias in the Books. A big thank you to our Trashy TV correspondent, Leah Merrill. You can follow her at Leah Merrill, correct?
Yes.
All right. You can follow our hockey show at PHNX_hockey, which apparently is just going to become a romance novel on Twitter as well. Brian, no, we're not going to have Noah and Derek recreate anything from this program. Big thank you to Noah behind the Mac producing things. Shane, though, he may be involved after this. A big thank you to Jonathan Gannon for stopping in the office so I could give him his review. You can follow the program at PHNX_sports. You can follow me at Espo. And remember, romance can happen anywhere, even at the office. Ahoy, ahoy!
We all silly like the mayor.